Big changes could be coming to California's standardized testing. On Tuesday, state legislature approved a state bill that would eliminate traditional multiple choice testing for California grade school students. Instead, Common Core testing would be implemented. Common Core is a computerized form of testing currently used in 45 states. Now federal lawmakers are threatening to withhold federal education funding if test scores are not reported for the year. The bill's headed to the state assembly for a final vote. As thousands of San Diegans join the rest of the country in observing the 12th anniversary of the September 11th attacks, Briley Oaks sat down with one man who witnessed the tragic day unfold from the crash site of United Flight 93.
As the tragic events of September 11th, 2001 began to unfold, millions of Americans turned to the news for answers. Our country was under attack.
There was a lot of talk there in New York of another explosion.
Passengers on board United Flight 93 realized their plane had been hijacked and decided to fight back. At 10:03 a.m., the plane crashed into a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
I get my first glimpse of something that's gone wrong is it's all green trees, but right in the middle is a swath of black trees.
Joe Little was one of the first reporters to arrive on scene. This tragic event was something bigger than he ever imagined.
I realized this was part of 9/11. This was United Flight 93.
With a giant crater and burning pile of ash left in the field, Joe and the other reporters were left in the dark to try to piece together what had happened.
Unless someone told me that it was a plane crash, I would not have known what happened there.
I wanted to know what it was like to be able to report on something so monumental.
It's a badge of honor to be able to say that not only did I cover 9/11, I was a part of 9/11. I was there on the front line, one of the first reporters on the scene of United Flight 93's crash.
But Joe also told me covering Flight 93 was different for him.
There was no wreckage or destruction. There were no buildings falling down. There were no people jumping out of the World Trade Center.
Although the damage may not be visible, the 33 passengers and 7 crew members on board United Flight 93 will be remembered as heroes.
Flight 93 was our only victory that day. It was the only thing that we beat them on, because we had a bunch of Americans say, screw this, we're going to storm the cockpit, and this plane is not reaching D.C.
Wednesday marked the memorial of what America lost during the tragedy of 9/11. Thank you, Briley Oaks, for giving us that glimpse of the past.
And with the deadline for mayoral nominations just a week away, the list of candidates has doubled in the last week. The field is up now to 33 candidates, including Nathan Fletcher, David Alvarez, Mike Aguirre, and Kevin Faulconer. Former Assemblymember Gloria Saldana has also announced she will be joining the race. The group is quite large, but is expected to trim down as next Friday's deadline gets closer. Even with the loss of some contenders, it is looking like a new record for San Diego, as the previous high for mayoral candidates was in 1983. And with some big things happening in sports, Riley is here to tell us the latest.
Astrid, Josh. So we do have a lot going on in sports this week. First, I want to start off with the Padres. They opened a 3-game series in Atlanta today. Last night in Philadelphia, they were delayed about an hour due to the rain. But when the weather cleared, Will Venable led off the game with his 22nd run of the year. That gave the Padres a 1-0 lead. But Tyson Ross couldn't get out of the first inning. He gave off 6 runs on 5 hits in 2/3 of an inning, as the Phillies went on to defeat the Padres by a score of 10-5. Now we fast kick our way to the soccer field, and where Mexico is taking on the United States. In the beginning of the second half, U.S. with the corner kick. Right there, you see it, and he headbutts it in and for the goal. He's all fired up with the uppercut, giving the Americans a 1-goal lead. Late in the second half, Dress approaching the net with the sweet pass to none other than Landon Donovan with the goal, and he did the slide. You saw it right there. The Americans win the game 2-0 and advance to the 2014 World Cup, leaving Mexico in the danger zone. And let's take a look over to the tennis court. And in tennis, Rafael Nadal defeated Novak Djokovic in 4 sets in his second U.S. Open title and the 13th career Grand Slam. This was their 37th match against each other, the most between any 2 men in the U.S. Open. It also was their head-to-head U.S. Open final in the last 4 years. Nadal beat Djokovic for the 2010 title, and Djokovic won their rematch in 2011. Nadal is 22-0 on hard courts this year. Okay, guys, so we have a contender for what some are calling the dumbest play of the 2013 football season. Let's take a look at this. During Sunday afternoon's game season opener, the Jets trailed Tampa Bay 17-15. With less than 20 seconds on the clock, the Buccaneers linebacker David Levante shoved Jets rookie quarterback Geno Smith after he was out of bounds nearly midfield. This was drew at a 15-yard personal foul penalty that moved the Jets into position for a game-winning field goal. And while the Chargers did lose their first home opener on Monday against the Texans, there is still talk about building a new stadium in the East Village. But just how much would an enclosed multi-use football stadium cost? Newly released numbers estimate it would cost roughly $1 billion. That's according to the Chargers' point man on stadium issues, Mark Fabiani. Fabiani says that the city would save money if he combined the project with the convention center expansion. Previous cost estimate came into around $800 million. And let's take it over to the Chargers home opener. Norv Turner may not be the head coach for the Chargers anymore, but the ghost of his losses are still haunting Qualcomm Stadium as new coach Mike McCoy learned in his Monday night debut. Our very own Eastlake Little League watched from the field as they got underway. Jarrett Johnson tips Cam Thomas with the interception and Rivers to Ryan with the touchdown. Late in the first half, Antonio Gates with the one-handed catch. That set Rivers up to Vincent Brown 21-7. Texans rallied down from 28-7 down after forcing a field goal attempt. Cam Thomas would get called for the critical penalty on a new rule, hitting the center on the kick. Very questionable in new life for Texans. On the next play, Matt Schwab finds Owen Daniels. The Texans came all the way back and for the tie. And on the final play of the game, Randy Bullock hit a 41-yard field goal to hand the Chargers a stunning 31-28 loss. You see it right there. That was how we lost our game.
Seems that's the way the Chargers always do it. Build a big lead and then lose it.
And that we did, but I mean, I hopefully that next season, I mean, this season is going to be great because we might win some games.
We do have a game this Sunday, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and I'm rooting for the Chargers. So let's see how we do.
I think that we all are. Thank you,
Yeah,
Bradley.
thanks, guys.
Coming up, guys, a unique food fest is in full swing downtown. See what tasty dishes and spirits you'll find.
And fans are still bidding over the direction choice to play Batman on the silver screen. Trevor Moody has more. Who may get the role after all?